With more than a third of Republicans stating that they are not going to be taking the COVID-19 vaccines, I don't necessarily blame the Biden administration for asking Donald Trump to encourage his supporters to take the vaccines, because usually I wouldn't want someone who is a terrible human being to be legitimized and given this credibility. But this is a public health crisis, and Trump supporters, like it or not, trust what he says. So if he tells them they should take the COVID vaccine, they're going to be more likely to listen to him than someone like Joe Biden or Dr. Anthony Fauci. So I think it's good if Trump actually were to join the campaign to get Americans vaccinated. And in an interview with Maria Bartiromo on Fox News, he was asked about whether or not he wants his supporters to get vaccinated, and he actually did endorse the vaccines. Kind of.
Mr. President, I know that you received the vaccine. Mrs. Trump also got the vaccine. Would you recommend to our audience that they get the vaccine then?
I would recommend it, and I would recommend it to a lot of people that don't want to get it, and a lot of those people voted for me, frankly. But, you know, again, we have our freedoms, and we have to live by that, and I agree with that also.
I'm going to go out of my way to be more charitable than I usually am and say I think that was better than nothing. It was better than nothing. He did work in the idiocy about freedom. That's not how vaccines and public health works. This isn't necessarily an issue of freedom. And this is what, conservatives have been saying about wearing masks as well. Well, don't I have the freedom to not wear a mask in public? Isn't this America? Well, don't I have the freedom to not have you spread your germs on me because you don't want to wear a mask because you're a petulant child? So this freedom argument is completely just idiotic. And Trump in the past has explicitly endorsed anti-vax misinformation. He claimed that vaccines cause autism, which has been thoroughly debunked and disproven on numerous occasions by experts. Nonetheless, what he said here, if we're being charitable, it does matter. I think that his supporters hearing it from him, they are more likely to listen to him than anyone else. I think that that's obvious. I mean, this is a cult. Trump supporters, this is all a cult. So what are you going to do if you need them to do something that they don't want to do? You get the cult leader to instruct them to do said thing. And that's what we need to see happen if we actually want Republicans to get vaccinated. Because again, 1/3 of Republicans being hesitant to take the COVID vaccines, mostly Republican men, I mean, that's not good. We need to reach herd immunity, and we can't do that if there's a substantial portion of the American population that doesn't want to take the vaccine. So for him to do this, I do think it's important, but I mean, he's going to do this irresponsibly. So on one hand, I want him to come out and say, take the vaccine, but on another hand, he also undermines what he's saying by talking about, oh, well, this is also about freedom, so you should definitely take it, but you're free to not take it if you don't want to take it. I mean, this is why vaccines should be mandatory, because this isn't quite literally about freedom. It's not about freedom. It is about public health. And if we are going to talk about freedom, then we should be arguing that Americans should have the freedom to go in public and not have to worry that they're going to catch COVID-19 because we're unable to reach herd immunity because Republicans don't want to take the COVID vaccines because they don't believe in science. That's the conversation that we should be having if we're going to talk about freedom. But regardless, I don't want to be too down on Trump here, make it seem like I'm an unreasonable hack. Him telling his supporters to take the vaccine is good. Should he be more responsible in promoting the vaccine? Obviously. But it's Donald Trump. He's an imbecile. So anything is important, and him saying this, it does matter. I just wish that he came out to say this on his own accord. He shouldn't have had to have been asked about this if he actually cared about his supporters. Because for me, I want my viewers to get vaccinated. I'm actively encouraging my viewers to take the COVID vaccines because I want all of you to be safe. I don't want you to get COVID-19. So if he actually cared about his supporters, you'd think that he'd do this on his own volition and he shouldn't have to be asked. Nonetheless, again, I think this is a step in the right direction, aside from some bad points that he made. Nonetheless, I'll take it, and I hope that this actually does have an impact. Because again, if they're going to listen to anyone, it's going to be Donald Trump. And if they don't listen to him, if he says they should take the COVID vaccines, then I don't know. But what I will tell you is that I will take any of the COVID vaccines. Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca, the Johnson & Johnson vaccines, stick all those fuckers in me. I'll be a guinea pig for new vaccines. This virus is serious. And it doesn't matter how old you are or if you aren't immunocompromised. If you get this, there is a very large likelihood that you will deal with long-term health issues, scar tissue in your lungs. And I don't want this. I don't want this for my viewers. I don't want this for anyone who I love. I don't want anyone that I know, my mom, my mother and father-in-law, to be subject to getting COVID-19. I want all of us to be safe. And as a result of me wanting this, I'm encouraging everyone to get vaccinated. And I think most of my viewers are smart enough to realize the importance of the COVID vaccine. It's just a matter of making sure that we convince others that they should be vaccinated as well.
Beautiful, beautiful, I will eat your ass. Beautiful, gay, beautiful.
Tremendous, 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 tremendous.